Tallest player on the Georgia Tech roster, more of a floor stretcher and facilitator, but she'll need to assert her size underneath as well. Wagner's entry pass stolen by Smith.
Coach Fortner wants to see her get a couple buckets in the second half.
Termas the hedge on Pierfax, slides around it, but that pass deflected by Smith. Georgia Tech, meanwhile, will face a matchup zone from the Panthers. Nowano bangs down the three, but Gene Hill might be thinking, I don't know if this is the right maneuver for us. 9-0.
Rebound the basketball, even if they're a bit undersized.
Georgia Tech is beginning the year without its 6'2 forward, Deasia Thomas-Harris. Stress fracture out indefinitely. This is a Georgia Tech team that wants to rev up the tempo. Nell Fortner has made a point of that as Morgan drops it off, and the short jumper falls. Zoe Smith.
Give it up to the opposing team. And right now, West Georgia's hungry. You know, they want to stay in this game. They know they're on the road, but defense is a way for them to stay in.
They cough it up. The lead feed to Dunn.
Really hasn't been a big part of their game. They averaged just 3.5 made threes a game last season. Good strong take to the basket for two by Zoe Smith.
Under Armour Elite 24, and boy, she is a firecracker with an explosive first step. But that time, the infraction was there because the defense was set up nicely to get a paint point themselves out of it.
Toni Morgan was composed as well. You saw all of that attention as they have another look.
Georgia Tech they're showing a difference than they have in the past 2 seasons.
Smith got a great seal underneath. It's still a chance for an and one. It's a drop over the top from Termas, and Zoe Smith will have a chance for three the hard way.
And that's something they can do with that two-man game, you know.
Top 2 scoring defenses in the ACC, and these two teams with North Carolina leading the way, ranking 6th in the country in that category. Holding teams to under 50 a game. What a finish for the first points for the Jackets.
Just as a basketball fan, I'm so glad. And obviously every Georgia Tech fan is happy to see her out there looking fine.
Blackshear getting the start in the second half for Georgia Tech. Makes it count.
Klazak's pass was sniped. Morgan in transition, laying it off to a cutting Smith. And one.
And that's big time. I mean, just the understanding that Toni Morgan knew she had a trailing Smith coming and knowing her athleticism to get that ball. But just look at his athleticism to get that. Right?
Augusta Knight is stepping right into it. Slapped off the glass down to Smith. Smith chasing her own, gets it to fall, and one.
And that's the type of work Coach Fortner talked about Smith brings to this team, you know, coming from Georgia.
He's the head coach of Killeen High School in Killeen, Texas. The steal, Smith soar into the rack, and the fast break bucket by Smith.
This afternoon, the defense, their defensive performance this afternoon is a big reason why they have the lead, and they're looking like they're about to pick up their 12th win of the season. They caught the basketball.
Morgan catch and shoot, won't go. Zoe Smith sticks it back.
And that's what Zoe Smith can do, and she has to do.
Prince.
Ooh, nice pass.
Oh, what a swat from Smith. She's up again, and Markowski's going to go to the free throw line.
And that's good work.
Georgia Tech 7 of 10 to get things going, and now a 2-on-1 in transition. Morgan again goes up, and this time she'll head to the line. They have shot better than 50% here in this first half. Smith to work. Augusta Knight to cutting.
As you know, the season continues. It takes time. She shows it on the court, but just to vocalize more as a leader.
Got her own miss with quick hands by Morgan. Jackets have a 3-on-2. Stop and pop. Carnegie makes it smooth. Goldie tried to thread the needle, poked away by Smith. She shot the gap. Velez in pursuit. Smith the lay-in as she continues her double-doubles. 12 points, 12 boards. Snipe them. And Georgia Tech with some defensive energy as well. 72-51, Jackets on top.
Over for Eck. Down, Misha. Smith with
Big
a huge
time
steal.
play.
Morgan with the ball.
Here's your starting 5 for Louisville. Jalea Williams, who is a transfer coming in from Miami, had a pick 6 on the way for Smith and gets that one to roll in. Leading the way is Toni Morgan with 8. She had 7 of those points in the first quarter. Dish underneath to Smith, and she gets the and one.
Morgan taking a little bit of extra.
Shooting over 40% this season. That's great. averaging 16.5 points per game. Hidalgo at 26 points per game. Count it for Zoe Smith.
Take another look at this one. Georgia Tech, the feed, the handoff, and just a little late, the help side from King. Also,
Nell Fortner said at shoot-around she needs mad dog rebounders, holding the Tigers to one-shot possession to the transition finish by Zoe Smith.
Spoke with us this week, Lauren, about how critical that bounce back against Clemson was. This is a team that started unbeaten. They were unscathed through the majority of the 2024 portion of the schedule, but dropped 3 consecutive before bouncing back against Clemson. Guess what? They answer her call out of the time.
Dunn feeds down low. Zoe Smith again. He's been the best player on the floor in the first 5 minutes. 7 seconds to shoot. Morgan, she penetrates. Kick out. Smith's got to let it go. And she gets it again. 10 points. 5 for 5 from the floor with 7 rebounds. What a first half for Zoe Smith.
It's what I like.
So Carnegie and Fournier, Georgia Tech's these two teams' leading scorers, been conspicuously absent lately. Smith. Oh my goodness, she can't miss.
Morgan, the go-to player for this Yellow Jacket team today. How about that on the rebound? Zoe Smith flying through the air to pick it up.
And that's what Zoe Smith brings to this team. That's why Nell Fortner brought her in. The ability to rebound, be that player that can...
3 team fouls in the quarter for Miami, something to keep an eye on, none for Georgia Tech. Williams breaks free inside. A little bit of hesitation that she probably didn't need there, Kelly.
Right. And a great play by
chance.
Blackshear. Yeah, that's excellent recovery by Blackshear.
All right, got a hand.
Whenever she wanted.
4-point Georgia Tech lead. Smith had the baseline runner from Dunn.
Back out Woods from Lincoln, Nebraska, transferred from Xavier. Robertson into the paint, goes for Peterson. No one's there, taken away by Smith. Wright gets him back. Here's Smith. Again, Wright falling away. Looks like her ankle.
Talking to the coach and the assistant coaches today, it felt like the confidence was there coming into this matchup against 17th ranked Georgia Tech.
Nice handoff from Smith inside.
Yeah, you talked about this assist from Smith. Just beautiful dish down low and a great finish for Termes, the sophomore from Spain.
Cruz will have to make something happen. Tried to lob it inside to Miller again, but Miller got rejected that time by Tech.
Clemson needs to be consistent this second half. They usually have a bad quarter scoring, a single-digit quarter scoring.
Some poofy. I have a scrunchie in, but it's not poofy like hers.
Very nice. Chastity Wright, the 5'4" freshman. Tia Jones at the top of the key. Tried to send it over outstretched hands. Morgan out front and the bucket. Toni Morgan.
But that was a great steal by Naredo. She missed that 3 on the previous possession, but read that really well to get the steal.
There's a deep seal underneath by Zoe Smith.
And defend and make NC State work for a shot in the paint that they missed.
Yellow Jackets, meanwhile, missed 10 of their last 11. Carnegie knocks down the 3, and if Georgia Tech can get that from Danny Carnegie tonight.
Florida State has got the lead. And inside, Zoe Smith, and 1.
And that's big time. I mean, that's the aggressiveness that Zoe Smith has to attack the basket. You have to continue to attack FSU's defense.
Another offensive rebound for Georgia Tech off the Morgan miss. And it's the second one already for Zoe Smith. She'll pop the mid-range, and it rattles down.
Oh, nice give on the trail, but Morgan's miss is followed in by Zoe Smith.
Toni Morgan's previous career high before that 31 in the last game at Stanford was against Virginia Tech. Had 28 points in that overtime loss.
And nobody there for State to rebound. Morgan will push the other end. Blackshear in the trail. And around and down.